Topical conversation that many of you have already been talking about on social and conventional media has to do with Paul Adom-Otchere and the Office of the Special Prosecutor. The latest regarding that is that the Office of the Special Prosecutor has interviewed and formally charged the former board chairman of the Ghana Airport Company Limited, Paul Adom-Otchere, and two others. However, Mr. Adom-Otchere has so far been unable to meet his bail conditions. He is required to present 2 landed properties of no specific value registered in his name. However, he has informed the OSP that he does not own landed property in Ghana. As a result, he remains in custody until the bail terms are satisfied. The 2 other persons are Otchere Kwame Bafoewa, Group Executive Commercial Services of the Ghana Airport Company Limited, and Albert Ajete Ajay Laye, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Danvest Systems. Mr. Adom-Otchere is under investigation in connection with a revenue assurance contract between the Ghana Airport Company Limited and private firm owned by the proprietor of Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited, SML. The OSP is examining possible procurement breaches, including sole-sourced contract awarded to a company other than the one approved by the Ghana Airport Company Limited board. And we'll bring you specific details. So what we also do know is that he has been at the premises of the Office of the Special Prosecutor, and our reporter Noble Crosby Annan, who's been following this for us, has joined us for a quick update. Noble Crosby Annan, good evening. Thank you for joining us. What's the latest regarding Paul Adom-Otchere's invitation by the OSP? Is he still in the premises?
Right, Martin, so it's been quite an afternoon here at the office of the Special Prosecutor. That is the building where it all happened at. Paul Adom-Otchere arrived here at the office of the Special Prosecutor at exactly 2:50 p.m. for the meeting that was scheduled for 3 p.m. Now, he was in the company of 2 of his lawyers. So 3 people entered through the main gate of the Office of the Special Prosecutor and then walked into the reception where the media was not allowed beyond the main gate of the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Paul Adom-Otchere was, if you like, escorted out, or he came out of the building at around 6:30 p.m. So we're talking about some close to 4 hours of interrogation. We understand the issues were quite a number, so it took quite some time. That is how come it was about close to 4 hours interrogation that happened at the office of the Special Prosecutor. When Paul Adom-Otchere entered, we didn't hear any word, we didn't hear any communication. He didn't engage with the media before he entered the building. The office of the Special Prosecutor and their representatives also did not speak with the media ahead of this close to 4-hour interrogation. So at around 6:30, we suspected that Paul Adom-Otchere was about to be escorted out of the building. Now, you can see the building of the Office of the Special Prosecutor. We got to know that he was about to be escorted out because there are some openings or some windows on the building, and we saw that there was some peeping through of the window. Our thinking is that some officials were gauging the mood of the place to know whether journalists were still around. When they got to know the journalists were around, now what we suspect happened because of what we saw is that the vehicle Paul Adom-Otchere came in was moved in a certain way to allow him enter the vehicle without the media knowing that he was entering the vehicle. So in total, 3 vehicles drove out of the office of the Special Prosecutor at 6:30. What happened was the first vehicle was a police vehicle. Now, we don't know who was in the police vehicle, but it was using its sirens on top speed, and it drove out of the office of the Special Prosecutor. The second vehicle followed closely. Mind you, the second vehicle was the vehicle that Paul Adom-Otchere and his lawyers came with. So we saw that 2 of his lawyers sat in that second vehicle. We don't know whether Paul Adom-Otchere was in the vehicle before the 2 lawyers got to the vehicle or not. So that vehicle also followed the police vehicle that had earlier left the building. And following immediately was also another vehicle. Now the thinking is that that vehicle belongs to the Office of the Special Prosecutor. So 3 vehicles left the place. Now it happened like that on the blind side of the media because around that time, that was when the police officers or the security officers stationed at the gate of the office of the special prosecutor, they began acting deviously. So they, came at the media, trying to push the media away, sack the media. And that indicated the thinking, that indicated that, it was about to be transported from the office of the special prosecutor to wherever they have taken him to. At the moment, we don't know where Paul Adom-Otchere has been taken to. In one of the 3 vehicles that left the office of the special prosecutor, the thinking is he was in the first one, the second one was that of his lawyers, and the third was that of the special prosecutor. Paul Adom-Otchere left the office of the special prosecutor at 6:30 p.m. after he arrived here at 2:50 p.m. Martin.
Noble Crosby Annan, thank you for that update from the office of the special prosecutor. And clearly, it is still a fluid story, so we'll keep very close tabs on that, and hopefully before the show ends or
back to Ghana's democracy.
The Ghana Journalists Association is warning of a nationwide media blackout on police-related activities if urgent steps are not taken to address a rising wave of assaults on journalists. This comes after more than 10 violent incidents targeting media personnel, including a GH1 reporter, attacked during the Ablekuma North parliamentary rerun on July 11th, and a Joy News crew assaulted by armed military officers during a demolition exercise at Spentex on July 30. At a press conference on Wednesday, GJE President Albert Kwabena Jumfo described the attacks as unacceptable and dangerous to Ghana's democracy, and gave the Ghana Police Service a 7-day ultimatum to take action or face a coordinated media blackout across the country.
The association will no longer accept symbolic condemnations without action. We will no longer allow the work of journalists to be criminalized under the pretext of national security or public order. If the Ghana Police Service fails to act decisively within the next 7 days, as already stated, the GJA, in consultation with key stakeholders, will announce a nationwide media blackout of all police activities. We will instruct our members to withhold coverage of police events, refuse participation in police press briefings, and suspend all forms of editorial engagement involving the police.
He added that the move is not a threat, but a necessary step to protect journalists and defend press freedom.
Failure to do so will leave us with no option but to advise all media houses across the country and our members to boycott all police-related activities and declare them as enemies of press freedom. And we will declare them as enemies of press freedom in the country. This is not a threat. And I want to reiterate that, Mr. IGP and your men in uniform, this is not a threat. It is a necessary action to defend the dignity and safety of every Ghanaian journalist. And we shall do that.
The Ghana Journalists Association is calling for immediate investigations, sanctions against those involved, and stronger guarantees for the safety of journalists nationwide.
In a related development, President John Dramani Mahama has condemned the recent attack on Joy News journalist and his cameraman, and also a civilian who was being interviewed, and has asked the national security operatives to undertake quick investigation into the matter. The president is set to convene a meeting between the Ghana Journalists Association and the security chiefs on how to ensure such brutalities are prevented from happening again.
Allow me to condemn in the strongest terms the recent incident involving the manhandling of some journalists by our security personnel. Such conduct is unacceptable and will not be tolerated. I have instructed that the incident be thoroughly investigated and that the officers involved be sanctioned accordingly. As a card-bearing member of the Ghana Journalists Association, I will not preside over a government that abuses or intimidates journalists in the lawful exercise of their duty. A free and responsible press is indispensable to our democracy, and we must all work to protect the media. I'll soon convene a meeting between the heads of the security services and the leadership of the GJA to plan a program to orient our troops to recognize the media not as enemies but as partners in development.
The president expressed his revulsion and disgust at the attitude of the military men, indicating a change in attitude. Meanwhile, swearing in the last of deputy ministers meeting his 60 threshold, the president says his administration has been most prudent. Deputy ministers for transport, foreign affairs, communication and health were sworn in by the president and given their instrument of office.
Compared to the 336 staff that were listed under the office of the president in the previous administration, the current numbers are significantly lower. Additionally, cost-saving reforms such as reductions and elimination of fuel allocations, travel budgets, and other perks are yielding important fiscal space. These are funds that we are redirecting to priority sectors such as education, health, infrastructure, and energy.
Earlier, President John Mahama gave the strongest indication of a review of the inland checkpoint manned by the Ghana Immigration, Military and Customs in Asikuma, Juapon and Sogakope of the Volta region. He spoke when chiefs from the Volta Regional House of Chiefs paid a courtesy call on him.
I'm mindful of the challenges posed by the inland immigration post at Asikuma, Sogakope, and the joint Juapon military and police barrier. These issues, which have long affected the region and created many challenges for its people, will be urgently reviewed by the appropriate authorities to harmonize security with communities and economic needs.
Moving on, workers of NEDCO VRA have withdrawn their services in the Greater Tamale metropolis effective today, July 31, following attacks on staff on Thursday, July 30, 2025. The decision follows attacks on official vehicles of VRA NEDCO, which were stopped and seized by residents, with some drivers allegedly assaulted. Now, the company says several attacks have been carried out against its properties and staff recently. Information gathered revealed that the attack and seizure of the vehicles was as a result of failure by the managing director of NEDCO VRA to reinstate a transferred staff despite intervention by an important chief. The youth, who felt uneasy about the situation, started seizing vehicles of the company, moving around town and parked them at the Gupena Palace. Let's get some more on this unfortunate development and now speak with Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, Richmond Roxon Esquire. Good evening to you, Council. How are you doing?
Good evening to you, and good evening to your cherished listeners. I'm doing well, thank you.
Now, can you tell us what briefing you have gotten so far on this issue and how the ministry is looking to resolve all of it?
The ministry's attention has been drawn to the press statement released by the Senior Staff Association of VRA today, as well as the Staff Association of NEDCO, that they've withdrawn their services as a result of unsafe practices in the Tamale metropolis and its environment. Besides that, the staff have been unsafe. Consistently, they've been attacked in their line of duty, and then they're unable to continue. As a ministry, we're taking notes of that. It's very unfortunate, but we are calling for calm. We're asking the Senior Staff Association of both VRA and NEDCO to remain calm. We're also urging the public, especially the residents of Tamale and its environs, to remain calm, and that the ministry will address all the concerns that they have. Currently,